in this video, it's Rhys at the New South Wales Interschool Equestrian Championships. This is the dressage day, which in the end was the only day to run. Lilly took Rhys as well as Bumper, and Bumper was on the previous video. And this is Rhys with his 2 prelim tests. This is the lovely warmer. I kept losing them in with his fresh clip and her school clothes. I didn't recognise them. So they warmed up down there where everybody was warming up for everything. And they had the gear check, and then they came up as they were riding in the top arena, the main arena, to do their tests. They came and warmed up here. And then Lilly went in and did the 1B first, which is this now. As you can see, and I mentioned in Bumper's video numerous times probably, it was so wet. Lilly was the first horse in of the day on Rhys, and it was it had cleared up a little bit when we first got there, and it wasn't terrible when she started, but by the time we got back to the car and the float, it was pretty much raining solidly, and it continued for the most part of the day. By the end of it, it was just absolute slop that they were riding around in. I'm glad we didn't spend too much time stressing over white socks, because as you can see, there was absolutely no reason to worry about that. So Rhys was pretty tense, particularly in this first test. Lilly was too. You know, she's not done that much dressage, and she was the first rider in, first test of the day, and she felt the nerves a bit. And yeah, Rhys was very tense and very looky. He's I think they got a pretty good mark for that. He's always really good at his trot across the diagonal. He always usually gets good marks for that. He's pretty decent at it. His transitions were pretty tense. His walk, when we get to it, is always terrible. We've been doing a bit of work on that at home since, but yeah, his medium walk, especially his free walk, they're not great. He just goes, oh cool, I want to look around now. But we've been putting some effort in, and hopefully it's going to pay off. But it wasn't their best test that they've done, but they had a good crack. He needs a bit more inside leg to help push him out and keep him flexed the right way and out towards the sides of the arena, into corners and stuff. And these things will come with time and a bit more experience and some lessons along the way for Lilly. It'll help with all of those little things. All of those little things will add up along the way to make a big difference in the end. They ended up with just under 62% for this test. There he goes, stargazing around, being nosy. It's his favourite thing to be. What's happening over there? So this is the 1C, this is their second test. As you can see, it's raining a whole lot more now, as Rhys stargazing, as he usually is when he can. Yeah, it's raining quite consistently. He's a bit of a mud monster, that doesn't really bother him. Or going in the mud, it's more just uncomfortable for the rest of us, really. Although I imagine he and Bumper both felt it with their fresh clips. They'd be feeling a lot more delicate about it, I imagine. I think they both enjoyed their hot bath inside on the Friday before going to this. But yeah, he's a lot more relaxed in this test. You know, as you can see, he still needs a lot more inside leg and bringing him around, having flexing well. But he'll get there. They actually have an error in course a bit later on. You'll see Lilly forgot to walk where she was supposed to walk, so they got beeped at and went back and continued on from where they left off, or where they should have left off. But yeah, I think this test was a bit nicer than the first one. He's a lot more relaxed. Lily's a lot more relaxed. It's yeah, scored a bit better. And I think he just pipped Bumper in this test, possibly. So after their error, they go back and they pick up the medium walk where they were supposed to have picked up their medium walk. And yeah, his walk's very average. We're working on it. Medium walk, and then his free walk, which is even more average. But anyway, they go on from there, and he gets pretty good scores in his canners and stuff. And it's just the walks and the stretchy trots we absolutely need to work on specifically, and things like Lilly and the inside leg. There's something that she specifically needs to work on. So they ended up with a bit over 63% in this test, and then of course they lost the 2 for the error of course, which took their percentage down to 62 something or other. And yeah, we went back and she tried to stay dry-ish for having another go with Bumper, because both of Rhys's tests were first, and then both of Bumper's tests were after that. And yeah, we went home, and we were supposed to go back on the Wednesday for the show horse classes, but of course the entire rest of the competition was cancelled because of this horrendous rain. And yeah, we went home and had everything hanging everywhere in the shed and the stables, and the float was open trying to dry everything out because everything was just so wet. Very glad that we weren't staying. I felt a bit bad for the people who were camping in it, even if they didn't end up camping in it for anywhere near as long as they were supposed to be. Yes, see, this is one of his stretchy trot circles, which is not terribly stretchy trot. But anyway, in the end, that was all there was to the State New South Wales Equestrian Championships. Trying to get a nice photo of the 2 horses with Lilly together, but that was not to be. It would be easier to try and take photos of toddlers. They were not cooperating. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.